What's up, foodies? A bunch of you guys have been asking me to put together the burgers and fries video into one video. So today, I'm giving you the ultimate guide to making Five Guys burgers and fries at home. I'm putting everything into one video so you can see the full process start to finish. I'm pulling from my time as a manager there, so you're getting their tips, tricks, and secrets to making their burgers and fries. And of course, I'm going to show you how to make their amazing Cajun fries. So let's get into it. First things first, let's make our beef patties. At Five Guys, each patty is 3.5 ounces made with an 80-20 blend of ground beef. You want to make sure you use a nice fatty ground beef for this. The fat is what makes it nice and juicy. Now, on the other hand, if you want to make this burger healthy or healthier, all you have to do is swap out the ground beef for a leaner version. Now, when you switch to a leaner ground beef, the beef is going to dry out quicker, so you want to make sure you don't overcook it. And using a few slices of cheese is going to help with that mouthfeel and not make it seem like it's dried out. Now portion out 3.5 ounces of ground beef, or roughly 100 grams. Then take it and form it in your hands and press it into a short, thick patty. Almost like a little puck. At Five Guys, they stack a whole tray of these patties into the fridge so they're ready for service. Cooling them down in the fridge firms the fat back up so they sear better later. Now that our patties are ready, let's get going on our bacon. Set a griddle or a pan to a medium-high heat. Now Five Guys uses applewood smoked bacon cooked on the flat top until it's really crispy. Use the best bacon you have available. The ingredients is what makes Five Guys so good. They source the best possible ingredients available. You want to cook the bacon enough so when you bend it, it cracks. That's the texture you're going after. You want really crispy bacon for this, no soggy bacon. Once our bacon is cooked, it's time for us to toast our sesame seed buns. Now Five Guys got a secret recipe for their own bun, but a good quality sesame seed bun will do the trick. You want to toast them face down on the grill until they're golden brown, and it gives you that slightly crisp edge that helps keep the bun from going soggy. Once our buns are toasted, it's time to build a burger bun. So there's an order to assembling our burger toppings. So let's start with the bottom bun. This is going to be your foundation for your burger patties. So at Five Guys, the ketchup and the mustard aren't just squirted on, they're done in rings. They have 3 circles of ketchup and 2 for mustard. It gives even coverage so every bite tastes balanced instead of getting a big glob in one spot. So with that in mind, let's squeeze 3 rings of ketchup and 2 rings of mustard onto our bottom bun. Now I like to add on some diced onions, 5 pickles. Mine are a bit small, so I'm adding a few more. Oh, by the way, the pickles should actually go on the top part of the bun after the lettuce, before the tomatoes, because they are a little bit wet. But I like mine on the bottom, so that's how we're doing today. But if you want to do it the Five Guys way, put your pickles after your lettuce. Once our pickles are on, let's add on 2 to 4 slices of the crispy bacon we just made. For the top bun, spread on some mayo, lay down some lettuce to protect the bun from the tomato juices and the pickle juices if you put your pickles on top. Now let's place 2 slices of tomato on top. Always 2 slices of tomatoes for a Five Guys burger. Now I always season my tomato with a pinch of salt. Five Guys doesn't, but honestly, you definitely should do this step. A salted tomato always tastes better on a sandwich or a burger. Now that our bun and toppings are assembled, let's cook our burger patties. So Five Guys has a system to cook their burger patties. It's done in 3 stages. Set your flat top or your cast iron pan to a medium-high heat. The first stage is we're going to lay the patties down on the hot surface and leave them. Do not touch them at all. What you're looking for here is the edges to start changing from pink to gray. Once that gray color starts creeping up the sides, that's your cue. Flip it, then give it a press with your burger press. This is the only time we're going to press our burgers with a press, right after we do the first flip. This is the part a lot of people get wrong. Five Guys are not smash burgers, so you don't press them right away. After your first flip, then you press. And don't press them like a smash burger. Just press them enough to spread them out a bit and get full contact with the grill. You still want your burgers to be a little bit thick. This is what's going to give you that Five Guys style patty. Now on to stage 2. Stage 2 is when you see little pools of liquid coming up to the top. That's when you season with some seasoning salt and then flip your patty. Now Five Guys don't season their patty, but you should. It just makes a better burger. And then stage 3 is to leave the patty to finish cooking. When you see clear juices running out of your patties, it's done. Don't keep flipping it back and forth. You want 1 solid sear per side. And if you're making a regular cheeseburger, which is 2 patties, then lay 2 slices of the best quality American cheese on the grill, just long enough for it to melt. I mean, you want some good quality cheese here. You don't want none of that cheap stuff. Get the best quality American cheese you can find. I've got some comments stating they can't get good quality American cheese. It doesn't exist, so I'm going to show you how to make some. Grab a bowl and add in 100 ml of lemon juice or lime juice and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It's going to fizz up, but this is going to make what we need to make the cheese. Let it settle for about 10 seconds. So here's what makes American cheese slices work. It's not just melted cheese, it's emulsified. The lime juice and the baking soda combo cause a reaction that releases carbon dioxide and forms sodium citrate. And that's your natural emulsifier. It helps the fat and moisture stay perfectly blended instead of separating and turning greasy. This is the same kind of thing that big brands use, but it's ingredients from your own kitchen. The result is a cheese that melts smoothly, slices cleanly, and doesn't break or curdle. Now pour in 160 milliliters of cream and stir it all together. Then transfer that mixture to a saucepan over medium heat. You want it hot, but not boiling. If it starts to bubble, lower the heat a bit. Alright, start with 400 grams of shredded cheese. I'm using a blend of sharp cheddar and Monterey Jack. It's about 300 grams of sharp cheddar to 100 grams of Monterey Jack. But you can go full cheddar or mix in some other types of cheeses if you want. Now start adding your shredded cheese a handful at a time, stirring constantly while you add the cheese and don't rush it. You're looking for your cheese to go smooth and glossy. If it starts getting a bit too thick or grainy, toss in a splash of milk and keep it moving. Once it's all melted and the cheese is all emulsified and silky, line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Pour the cheese out and spread it evenly with a spatula. Top it with another piece of parchment, then press a second sheet tray on top. This flattens everything out and gives you a nice even thickness for slicing. Now, chill this in the fridge for at least 3 to 4 hours or overnight if you can. Now, if you don't have sheet pans, you can put this into a cake pan and just put some saran wrap on top. Once it's set, peel off the top paper and slice it into squares. Then leave them on the grill for a few seconds to help them melt before you slide them onto the patties. Then stack your patties up if you're doing doubles. Now this is an important part. The patties should go from the grill directly to your bun. Place your patties straight onto the dressed bun and then put the top on and then wrap it in some foil. And don't skip this step. The foil is what gives you that Five Guys style burger. Then let the burger rest for a minute so the bun goes soft and everything melts together. And hey, if you want to go full Five Guys, then load it up with grilled onions, grilled mushrooms, jalapenos, steak sauce, whatever you like. And that's part of the fun, making it your way. Sounds like another company. And even just a basic plain burger with cheese and bacon is great. And there you go, my Five Guys burger made at home. Fresh beef, toasted sesame bun, all the toppings, and then wrapped in foil. Now let's make Five Guys fries. Five Guys actually uses russet potatoes for their fries, specifically russets from Idaho or Washington. They'll clearly state this on the boards above the potatoes in their stores. Russets are the best potatoes to make fries because they're high in starch and low in moisture. That's what gives them their crispy shell and that soft, fluffy center everyone loves. So start with about 3.5 to 4 pounds of russet potatoes. That's roughly 4 to 5 large ones. Or hey, use as many potatoes as you need. You don't want to peel these, you want to leave the skins on to make them more rustic. And then go ahead and slice a thin piece off one side of the potato so you have a flat bottom to work with. That way the potato doesn't roll around on you. Then just cut them into sticks about 3/8 of an inch thick. So try to keep them even so when we fry them, they evenly cook all the way through. And those little pieces you sliced off, don't just toss them. I like to save it later for potato skins. And if you want a recipe for potato skins, let me know in the comments below. Now rinse your cut fries under cold water until it runs clear. So what this is doing is washing all that surface starch off your fries. If you skip this step, they'll stick together and they'll brown too quickly. Once your water is looking mostly clear, dump it out and fill the bowl again with cold water and let it soak for about 30 to 45 minutes. Some people like to soak it for hours, but as long as you're changing the water until it's clear, you're good. Then you want to drain your potatoes and dry them completely. Any surface moisture is going to cause oil to splatter and can be dangerous. I usually lay them out on a towel and let them air dry while I heat up my oil. I also like to pat them on top with a paper towel just to make sure they're dry. Now while our potatoes are drying off, let's heat up some peanut oil. So Five Guys uses peanut oil for their fryers. If you can't get your hands on it or it's too expensive, feel free to use any other oil that you use for deep frying. But to get that Five Guys flavor, you want to use peanut oil. So you want to heat your oil up to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I say around because home fryers and countertop fryers don't hold heat as well as commercial fryers do. In a restaurant, the oil temp barely moves when you drop a batch of fries in. But at home, it can dip 5 to 10 degrees. So when I say 350 degrees Fahrenheit, you're really working in about 340 to 350 range. And that little cushion helps you stay in the sweet spot once you add your potatoes to the oil. Now we're going to do a 3-step fry method, and that's the secret to a perfect texture. The first fry cooks the inside nice and soft. Then we give the fries a nice rest so the steam can escape and the surface can dry out. And after that, our second fry is going to finish off the cooking, making them golden and crispy. Your finished fries should be nice and crispy on the outside and soft like a pillow on the inside. Now grab a handful of fries and drop them in small batches so the oil temp doesn't drop too much. Now fry them until they're just pale and soft but not browned. You should be able to squeeze one gently between your fingers with little resistance. That's the texture you're looking for. This takes about 3 to 4 minutes depending on your fryer. That's why it's better to go by look and feel than actual time. Then lift them out when they're done and spread them onto a wire rack and let them rest for 1 to 2 hours. This step's important. It lets the steam escape so they get nice and crispy later. Now if you're in a rush and can't wait 1 to 2 hours, you can wait 15 to 20 minutes, but the longer you wait, the better they will be. You can also take these power cooked fries and put them in the freezer, and then when you want to cook fries on another day, just pull them out of the freezer and drop them right into the fryer. It's kind of like making your own pre-bag of frozen fries. Now, if you want Five Guys style fries, this is where you would just drop those power cooked potatoes back into the same oil at the same temperature for your second fry. But I have a little secret I do. I'm going to make a little change. Instead of keeping the oil at the same temperature, we're going to raise the heat for this for the second fry. That little extra boost gives you a deeper color and crispier crust that actually stays crispier longer. So we're going to bring our oil up to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and wait for it to come to temp. Now your fryer only might go up to 374, that's fine. Mine only goes up to 374, 1 degree is not going to make a huge difference. And if you don't have a tabletop deep fryer like I'm using, you could easily put some oil in a Dutch oven and just be careful, fill it up a little bit and fry your fries that way. Just make sure you're using a thermometer so you can keep control of the temperature. Then add a few par-cooked fries to the basket and drop them in. And let it go for a couple of minutes. You're looking for a color that's deep golden and the bubbles disappear. This is how you know they're almost done. Once they're golden brown and sound kind of crisp in the basket, they're done. This is all about sight, sound, and feel. You can't just go by time. You gotta look at them and know when they're ready. When they look golden, when they sound right, and when the bubbles calm down, you're there. Pull them out, give the basket a few shakes, and then toss them into a bowl. And then right away, hit them with some salt while they're still hot. Because if you don't hit them right away, the salt won't stick and you'll have bland fries. Now if you want to make them look like Five Guys, get a cup, scoot them in, and don't forget to throw some extras on top. Now if you want their Cajun fries, it's really simple. After you season them, just use a store-bought Cajun blend like McCormick's or Clubhouse here in Canada, whatever you got. Now give them a good toss in the Cajun seasoning while they're still hot so that seasoning actually sticks to them instead of going to the bottom. And that's it. That's how you make Five Guys burgers and fries. It's a great way if you want to save money because going out to Five Guys can be quite expensive these days. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and until next time, Foodie out.